look what's on the bench. And no, the CBR didn't morph into a modern fuel-injected motorcycle. It's just, this is what's on the bench. So this is Reg's, the hell is this, 2007? 2006? Second generation FZ1. This is a salvage title bike. It had a bit of a small off, I believe, on the right-hand side. It is so small, in fact, that you really actually have to look at where it might have suffered any sort of damage. So I'm going to basically go through the basics with this bike, check tire codes, which I already did there from 21 for the front and 22 for the rear. We'll check the chain, the sprocket, see what that looks like. I did find this here on the radiator, so I'm going to pull the radiator and see if I can have a local shop just basically bend this back and seal it for us so we don't have to buy a eBay rad. We'll check the oil. Oil's looking pretty good. Filter's looking pretty good. We'll move on to the forks. As you can see, there's a bit of some crap here. So we'll likely do fork seals. We'll see what the bushings look like. Tires. Front tire feels decent. Not too bad. Bit of a step on the center portion here. You can definitely feel and see that the rear tire is squared off. So we'll let Reg decide what he wants to do with that. Of course, elephant in the room. Yes, the rotor is making noise. So I think we're going to order the RM Stator one. Check both bearings, both in the case and in the engine. We'll do plugs, coolant flush, obviously, because we lost the bulk of it. What else? Had some other stuff on the list. Oh yeah, valves, that'll be later. Air filter, that will be later. And yeah, I'll keep you posted on what else I find. Righty, rad's off. Not looking too bad. There's that brake there. I'm gonna send a few pictures to the local radiator place. See if they can fix it. If they can, I'll bring it over. And then just needs a quick clean just to get some of this stuff out. But pressurized air will fix that, no problems. So while you're in there sort of job, we'll pull one of the plugs. I'm gonna order new plugs. They're about 45 bucks for decent iridium plugs. We have no history on this bike. It's 63,000 kilometers, so it'd be interesting to see where the valves are at. But before I get in there, I'm gonna take the airbox up, get rid of the pair system so it gives me a little bit more room for the access to the valves. Interestingly, I was looking through here and the exhaust cables are unhooked, so I wonder if this thing is maybe perhaps flashed, because I think the first years were pretty abrupt on the throttle. So yeah, we'll check into that next. All right, real quick, steering head bearing looks good. No looseness, no knocking. Pulled one of the pads, or sorry, the covers. Pads look great. When I'm bleeding the brakes, I'm just going to pull the pads, work the brakes all the way in so I got some access, and just give the pistons a quick clean. And then obviously all brand new fluid. Lines look original, but they look in really good shape. So we'll talk to Red, see what he wants to do. Looks like there was quite a bit of grease there at one point, but I think when I get to the fork service, I may just pull the steering head bearing out and grease it. All right, let's check this chain for stretch. We want to have 10 links, 20 pins, and less than 319 millimeters total. So, if I was a betting man, that chain is at 308. So it's still in range. She's still good. Sprockets look pretty good. I haven't bothered to take off the front because I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to look okay. Alrighty. One thing I have to say, this thing is very, very easy to work on. So inner fairings came off super easy. Tank is hinged, which is awesome. It comes with its own little tank prop. Filter looks really good. I haven't pulled it yet. Just looking at the throttle bodies. They're looking pretty decent. Gonna give them a quick spritz. This thing inside looks really, really good. I think this bike was looked after by somebody that really, really liked it. Just noticing some little marks on the fairing on both sides. I'm guessing this is possibly from a bigger windscreen. This is probably where the bike was dropped. You can see it on the crash bung here a little bit. And then any FZ owners out there, is this normal? That moves. They both move on both sides, and both of these are tight. So I'm not really sure what the hell the deal is there. Otherwise, oh yeah, pulled out one of the plugs. Sort of looks like it was found at the bottom with the Titanic. The plug itself is a little bit black. Not too bad. Again, going to order 4 new plugs. Filter. Seen better, seen worse. We'll talk to Reg. Again, super easy to get to. I'm going to check the price for a high flow filter, and I think this is actually what this is. And yeah, put in a new filter as well. Alrighty, let's look at this Coca-Cola product in here. No, this is not what fluid should look like. The back looks equally as brown. So I'm going to vacuum this out. Clean the front calipers. And yeah, move on to the next thing. Front sprocket looks okay. Starting to curl over a little bit. It's typical. 17 tooth. Actually, I have no idea what the rear is. Didn't count them. Okay, so the world famous Yamaha Time Bomb is out. I didn't drop anything down here. So this is the second rotor they replaced before he bought this. The other thing that kind of concerns me is that bearing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that should turn freely. It doesn't feel very good. Stator looks fine. I am going to take the cover off and check the outer bearing. And of course, here's the man of the hour. The thing of the hour, whatever the hell you want to call it. So these guys here will delaminate. This is the older rotor design that's not encased in steel. It's interesting. There's some really, really fine, it's kind of heavy, fine marks here. Nothing super crazy, but this thing's not going to go back anywhere. They're likely going to go with an RM stator. Or we could spend the big bucks and get the one from the redesign from Yamaha, which is like $700 US or $1,100 Canadian. But yeah, let's see what those bearings look like. Okay, so stator is freed from the cover. Looking at this bearing, number one, it's offset. Number two, you can see the rotor is on the bearing the way it would sit in the motor. And here's problem number one. That doesn't look right. You can see there's quite a bit of play on this bearing. I don't think this is right. Let me flip the rotor and put that into the motor and see how that feels. Okay. Stator's in the bearing. See if you can hear that with me. That's not right. Bearing shouldn't be making that noise. And like I said, when I tried to spin it by hand, that doesn't want to turn. Something tells me that this bearing is in need of replacement. and the case bearing is in need of replacement. Rotor wise, again, I don't see any discoloration or anything like that, but I'm not really sure how these fail. So even a step up to the RM stator that has the magnets encased in steel is the way to go. So I'm going to need a blind puller for that one. I know a guy. I'm going to take this off, heat the living daylights out of that, pull the bearing, see what size that is. I know that's available from Yamaha. And then I did see somebody on the interwebs pull out this bearing. I'm sure this is probably a couple $100 from Yamaha, so we'll see if maybe I'm assuming this is friction fit into that, because you do have the screws here that push through. So I'm gonna heat the outside of this. Gonna get the one of the smaller hammers and see if I can persuade this. All right, easy peasy. A little bit of heat came right out. Let's have a look at this thing. Well, as my Spanish friends would say, no es bueno. Oh boy, this thing is done. All right. Should be able to drive this out with enough heat. I got a bearing driver. Wish me luck. Sorry, I didn't realize my phone lens were dirty. So, heated up the outside. Put on some berry white. Put this thing in the mood. And turned on the heat. So, I'm going to drive this through real quick before it cools off. And we'll have the bearing out to inspect. Okay. I don't know about you. Yeah, you shouldn't be seeing daylight through it like that. I'm hoping that if there was any material that came off this bearing, because it was kind of all kept in here, that it stayed in here, I might fire up the ultrasonic later, gather up all the bits and pieces, scrape this crap off, throw that in there. And like I said, I'm gonna have to go get a blind puller from my good buddy Greg. I'll remove the intermediate gear here. Obviously put some stuff down here and get both the bearings changed out. All right, so I tried to heat this and just to try to wiggle it out with my bearing driver. It didn't work. I need a blind puller. So I'm going to pick this up on the next video. One thing I forgot to mention, got myself this the other day. What an awesome tool. I don't know where the hell this has been my entire life. But, the hell is this? I don't know. Anyways, good progress today. Like I said, I need to get a blind puller for that second inner bearing for the rotor. I'm going to order a new Chinesium rotor. It's going to come with the world's cutest bushings as well. I'm going to make sure that I reassemble this all nice. Gave this a quick clean. Didn't find any dirt in here. So that's good. And I think whatever bearing material was in here, it got basically turned into paste. So more likely than not, I'm going to probably find it in the oil pan. I might even actually pull the oil pan to see if there's anything on the pickup tube and just clean out the pan. But again, that'll be on the next episode. So stay tuned.